I think the dentist takes care of the teeth, not the gynecologist, because she already has a child, so she isn't pregnant anymore. So she couldn't have gone to see the gynecologist. What about the nutritionist? She has no problem about her diet, so she has no business with the nutritionist. What about the pediatrician? Yes, the pediatrician is or are doctors that are specialized in taking care of children. Of course, it can be psychiatrist, because we were not told that either the woman or the child is mentally deranged. Hence, the answer is D, pediatrician. Okay, the dash of the novel is organizing a seminar for youths. The dash of the novel. The A, author. B, composer. C, director. D, initiator. E, producer. It must be the author. It can't be the composer. It's not a song. If it were to be a song, probably it could be the composer of the song. It's not a director. If it were to be a movie, perhaps we could say the director of the movie. It is not an initiator. If it's a plan, for instance, we could be talking about the initiator of the plan. Neither is it a producer. So the answer is author. I think that is all we're going to be taking from that part. A few examples from that part. Let us now quickly take these questions where a sentence is given and a number of words are highlighted, and we're asked to get options that explain the words. Listen to this. Our national team scored the winning goal at the 11th hour. The expression "the 11th hour" is underlined. It's italicized. So I'll give you the option that explains that expression. A, the player with jersey number 11 scored the winning goal. No. They scored at the last moment. That's the answer. Look at option C. But of course, do not settle for any answer until you are through reading the entire options, because out of haste, you could pick the wrong option that looks pretty like the right option. But by the time you go down to the last option, you would have convinced yourself that the one you settled for is the correct answer. So you do not rush to quickly shade option A because it sounds pretty like the answer. Be patient to read through, just like you do when you read the comprehension passage. You don't want to run hastily to choose your answers. You want to get done with the entire passage before you begin to answer your questions. So the answer is scored at 11th hour. Now what about this? The only way out of this economic crisis is to take the bull by the horns. What does it mean to take the bull by the horns? A, for everybody to be involved in solving the problem. B, for the leaders to be disciplined. C, to be brave and face the situation squarely. D, to be involved in rearing bulls. E, to be involved in mainly in agriculture. Let me tell you this. For idiomatic expressions like this, you do not need to pick options with lame answers. You do not need to pick options where you have literal explanation. The explanation must not be literal. It has to be as possible metaphoric. As much as possible, it has to be metaphoric. So you couldn't have gone for to be involved in rearing bull. That is quite literal. But look at this option, to be brave and face the situation squarely. That is what it means to take the bull by the horn. So you must go for options where you have metaphorical introductions and not options that are quite literal and pedestrian. That is it for that. We shall take questions now bordering on prepositions. I am weary dash his constant complaint. Weary from, weary of, weary on, weary over, weary with. It should be weary of. That is tired of, sick and tired of his complaints. John goes to school dash bus, by bus, in bus, on bus, through bus, with bus. It is what? By bus. That is all we can take from the lexicon structure. And what is remaining is the register. This is what you need to know about the register. Registers are words, lexical expressions belonging to a particular field of study. You have registers for sports, economics, politics, agriculture, education, name them. So before you answer questions, you are supposed to first of all ask yourself, what is this register all about? Is it talking about football? Is it talking about education? What is it indeed talking about? This is what you need to know first before you dabble into it. And for this one here, let me just give you a brief example. In this passage B, you see the options behind A, B, C, D, and E. Look at this. Profit is the dash benefit or dash which a firm realizes from its transaction and business dealing. Don't forget that before you pick the answer to questions on register, read the sentence from the beginning to the end. Because for certain expressions, it is only when you would have gotten to the end of the sentence that you could get a clue of what should be the right option. So you don't just fill in the gap before you get to read through, so that you get a clue as to what you were expected to do. So we go. Profit in the dash, option A, collective, financial, fringe, interesting, material. See, profit is the dash benefit. It should be what? Financial benefit. Or 87, gain, loss, possession, progress, support. Financial benefit or gain which a firm realizes from its transaction and business dealing. How did we know it has to be gain and not loss? Because the expression, the sentence is realizing from its transaction. So you see that it must be gain and not what? And not loss. Don't forget that the sentence started with the term profit. Profit. So we have profit is the financial benefit or gain. Remember the gap was supposed to fill is the gap 86 and 87, which says profit is the dash, benefit or dash. So it should be profit is the financial benefit or gain. So you see that one thing you have learned from this registers class, or these examples on register, is that you have to read through the sentence, get to the end before you decide which of the option is most correct. That is how far we can go for this section. I am very sure so far we've been able to take care of questions concerning continuous writing. Comprehension was in our previous class. Excuse me. Taking questions on summary. We equally took questions on lexis and structure. We took questions bordering on filling the blank spaces, question bordering on prepositions, and of course using the options to explain some italicized words. That is how far we can go. Thank you very much for being a part of this class. Do have a wonderful day.